Alright fellas, welcome back. This video is going to be a little different from the rest. It's a video I've been thinking about for a couple weeks. It's going to be Shop Time with Dave, the backstory. So it's going to be kind of a two-part video. The first part, I'm going to talk about why I'm making these videos. And then the second part, it's going to be a bit of a walk around that several of you guys have requested throughout the last few weeks. Kyle Christ, Ricky Bork, may have been some others that asked for a walk around of what's going on here. So let's get into this. Why am I making these videos? Well, I thought I got some skills built up and I need to share these skills. Now, I've gotten around, met some people. One that sticks out is I was at Rolog this past year, met Connor from this old house, this old farm, and looking at him, he's a little bit of a younger guy, just starting to learn. And I thought, this is the kind of guy that I need to be spreading my skills to. So I've made videos for a while off and on, and never really went anywhere with the videos. A lot of them are really low quality. I couldn't be around for a lot of the things that were happening behind the scenes, so my videos didn't have much for continuity on projects. But I decided it's time to take us in a new direction and start showing some different things. Maybe actually show some start to finish with some projects. So here we are now. And what I'm really trying to do is I want to teach and inspire. When I say teach, I want to show the skills that I've learned and struggled with to figure out throughout the last 25 years. I'm 44 now, so yeah, 25 years. Struggling, working with almost nothing. And then to inspire, I want to show the younger guys, hey, you can do this. It's hard. These videos are actually really hard to make. And I'm a guy with no confidence whatsoever. And talking in front of the camera, showing things I'm working on, when you know every single detail is going to be scrutinized, and I hear about it. It's very hard to take somebody with no confidence like me and put it on the stage for the whole world to watch. It's a very difficult thing to do. But we're going to get through it, because I want the guys out there, you guys, to learn from me. So I guess you need to know where I started. I just started with a Alice Chalmers B in 1998, and then things got rough, and I had to get rid of it. I had to start all the way over. My life's been nothing but a story of starting over from scratch every couple years. But starting from the beginning, you build skills, and you take those skills with you everywhere. And starting with that first B is when I started to build skills, and I'll tell you, I made some mistakes. The first mistake was paying way too much for it. But I was, 20, 21 years old? I didn't know no better. I thought I was getting a good deal. Turns out I wasn't. And then there was other mistakes along the lines. But you learn from those, and you build from it, and you move on. So I show a lot of machining stuff, and that's where I'm trying to open the doors to some new things for you guys out there. A lot of you have probably never seen a lot of these things: brazing, welding, machining, making new parts, trying to fix something that's irreplaceable. Nobody's going to teach you that anywhere. I don't know of a school that you're going to go to that's going to teach you how to fix a manifold on something that's 85 years old, and parts just aren't there anymore. So that's what you're left with, is making your own and fixing what you have. So that's what this teaching and inspiring is all about. So to talk about my machining background a little bit, the truth is I've only been doing it for 10 years. Let's go over here for a second. In 2012, I had my first cleat track, and I needed some bushings. Bushings you weren't going to find anywhere. I didn't know anything about machine tools, but I knew I needed a lathe. So I picked this guy up for $175. I thought it was going to be a good lathe. It never occurred to me that this lead screw was homemade. I didn't know. I didn't know what I was doing. The spindle on this lathe is way too fast. I was burning up tools. I had no idea. But you start with that. And I was able to make bushings. I made several different things, parts that I needed over the years on this lathe. And this is the start of it for me. 10 years ago, 34, 35 years old. I learned something new. And eventually we moved up to this guy. I then moved this in here too. But we took that knowledge. I took that knowledge at a job where I was making $8, $9 an hour. Just barely able to get by. Scraping by. It was tight. And some of the bosses there found out that I had a lathe and had a little bit of knowledge, and they moved me up to running CNC machines. CNC lathes. And then 6 months went by, and I got laid off. Which kind of brings me to where I'm at now. Just by chance, my bosses called me up out of the blue, knowing that I had a little bit of CNC experience, and said, "Hey, we need somebody who can run a lathe. Could you come and run a lathe for us?" I said, "Okay." And I did it. Started next week. I'd never wrote a lathe program before. I didn't know anything about it. But I had to figure it out. And over time, I set up my own little desk and computer and figured things out one step at a time. Some of it was YouTube learning. Some of it was following handwritten examples. Some of it, a lot of it really, was trial and error. What worked, what didn't work. And there were some pretty bad mistakes along the way. I once ruined almost $10,000 in 8 parts, $1,200 a piece. It didn't go over very well with, anybody, but I still have my job, surprisingly. And I still see those parts sitting there every day as a constant reminder. Oops. But anyway, point is, we're always learning. We never ever stop learning. And I want you guys out there, some of you, you're older guys, some of them middle-aged guys like me, and then younger guys. I want you to be able to take away something new from my videos. I know I don't get to make them all real regular like. And here I'm just getting off of having this cold. So that slowed us down. And then sometimes we have to wait on, money to buy the parts we need to work on, or raw materials. I mean, it's just the way the game's played. So that's just how it is. So let's get off of that subject a little bit and move on to a bit of a walk around. So let me pause you and I'll bring it back. All right, we'll start off the walk around part of this video with Dad's John Deere H. Hopefully this is a Ricky Dickey's favorite part of the video here. Not really anything wrong with this one. It's probably 2 years ago. I rewired it, went through the carburetor. Had to work on the mag a little bit. See if I can get over here. This H does have electric start. Guess that's pretty rare on H's. Does have hydraulics, lights. It's got the Monroe Easy Rider seat. Some genius decided to put a straight pipe on this. Personally, I don't think it sounds all that good. It's got a weird crack to the exhaust that's kind of annoying. I don't know if it's because of the straight pipe or if it's because the carburetor's not adjusted right or what. But I don't know. Back there's a 73 Malibu. That was my mom's car. My sister wants to restore it someday. The end of next month will be 30 years since we lost our mom. Their Dad's truck just pretty much sits here. Oops. Don't be looking at that license plate, people. This truck's a 2000. It's only got like 28,000 miles on it because it's never driven, ever. Here's my baby. It's a 2001 Akuma. It's an ES L6. Unfortunately, it doesn't run. It ran when I put it in here. I bought this because I was hoping to do some side work and kind of pad the bank account a little bit, but well, that ain't gonna happen right now. This servo drive here is out of it. It controls the X-axis. But hopefully we can get that fixed one of these days. And I tell you, it ran smooth when it did run. Alright, on to the next. Alright, well, here's the old Massey Pony. Pretty much use this just for hauling firewood around, and currently, like everything else, it's broke. I'm telling you guys, I got as much broke stuff as Rick Bork. I parked this thing here, and then I come to start it the next time. No spark. So, like anything, I haven't had time to get back to it. Probably 2 years ago, I got a new starter Bendix and ring gear. It got rewired. Made my own wire harness. It started the best it ever started since it was ever here, anyway. This come here in 1971. Grandparents and parents bought it. I haven't been in here for a couple months, and I see some animals have knocked some things over right onto my cleat track. Got the Case 1818 skid loader here. I'm too fat to fit in it. Yeah, I could fit in it now. When I was over 300 pounds, I couldn't fit in it. Cleat track HG42. This thing was a mess when I first got it. Missing most of the sheet metal. Somebody rigged a loader, and then onto the loader they rigged a blade. It was bad. Had to make a lot of parts for it. It was a fun project. Needs a better muffler. But I bet I only got this thing out twice in the whole last year. Runs alright, but smokes. And then WD-45 Alice Chalmers. This was a friend of mine. It was his tractor. He passed away. So I bought it off of his wife. Kind of thought I'd restore it in his memory one of these days. Runs alright, but it'll leak all the gas out of it at a matter of minutes. Something wrong around the fuel bowl. It leaks around the needle, but whatever. The hand clutch doesn't work. I don't know. I'm not sure what the story is on that. If somebody's bolted it closed or if it's just stuck or what. Whenever I get to this project, we'll figure it out then. Here's my parade wagon. That was a lot of fun. After sitting outside for several years, the paint really took a beating on it. Used it in several parades. Tried to advertise for the steam show with it, but see, that failed like most everything else I ever touched. Alrighty, well, we'll move on to the next. This here's number 7 Oliver plow. Got the rooster comb lift. I bought this because I wanted a steel wheel plow to go with that HG42. And I thought, well, cleat track, better get an Oliver plow. This dates from probably the late teens to mid 20s. Guess these were originally used behind Fordson tractors. Need some work on that wheel. Probably have to make new wheels by the time it's all over, but we'll get by. Mower and blade. My Alice B over here. I bought this one in 2009. Guess kind of replaced the one I got rid of back in the 90s. You can see the animals been doing a number on the seat. Bunch of cats and raccoons and possums living in here now. This was a pretty rough looking tractor when I got it. Then around 2014 it got completely gone through. It looked really nice. And then I ran over myself with it. Oops. That hurt. But I didn't miss work. I made it back. I wasn't moving very fast, but it's gotten beat up over the time. Obviously you can see I'm doing some bush hogging. Now look at that. It's even bush hog brand. We'll move up here. John Deere 110. Not sure what to do with that right now. And then Chalmers CA over here. I bought that in July of 2002. Got it over the 4th of July weekend. And somebody laid a Cletrac gas tank on top of it. So yeah, there's plenty of stuff wrong with it too. It's come a long way over the 20 years. It did run for a while, but it's had parts robbed off of it. Down there, my Homesteader 8. It never got completely put back together again. There's a cat. Say hi, kitty cat. Yeah, maybe this spring when it warms up, we'll drag that CA out. It really needs to get done. Now back in the shop. This is a Case D. I couldn't tell you the year on it. This was another friend's tractor. He wanted to sell it, and the price was right. So I bought it just because it was his, and I wanted a tractor that was his. So right now it's just collecting parts. Gonna have to, I guess, well, need a set of pistons. We'll get there. Just kind of got moved down on the list of things a little bit. Kind of saved the best for last for you guys. It's a 1936 Cletrac E62. Looks pretty much the way it did when I drug it home in 2008. I was probably 500 miles each way. Come from just east of Rochester, New York, all the way here to Western Ohio. Apparently somebody rigged some sort of a Ford engine in this at one time. There was an adapter made up. And it probably went from here to here. So this input shaft, minus the socket I pounded on there to turn it over with. I'm gonna take a wild guess and say that it ain't right. I'm thinking it's probably about 4 inches too long. But we'll get it figured out when the time comes. At some point in time, the track's locked up in this thing. Probably about 3 years ago, I worked on it and got them free again. They've probably locked up again. Oh, the projects, they never end. Had this cover off the back so I could get in there. Had the cover off the top. I did have it to where it would go in all of the gears. Hopefully Squatch is watching so he can look at that pedal and tell me how much this machine's been used. There's the front end of that Case D leaning up. There's the old gas tank out of that truck. Tell you what, that's a frame rail out of that truck. It got bad, so I decided the best course of action was cut the frame rails out and make new ones. I couldn't get rid of it. I bought that truck in November or December of 2000, so I've had that truck 22 years. When I bought it, there wasn't a scratch, dent, or anything in it. It was perfect. You can see what salt does. Salt and 22 years of beating on a truck, using it for more than what it was ever intended for. Well, this thing's getting pretty long-winded. That's pretty much all the projects. Wrap this walk around up. I'm telling you, Rick, I got as much broke stuff as you, if not more. Till next time.